This is Bryce and Boat here in Central Florida doing Monday's episode of Societal Deconstruction's podcast. We have a guest with us this evening, Jersey John.
How you doing?
Hey, John. Does anybody remember Mr. Rogers? His real name was Fred McFeely Rogers. According to a widespread legend, he was a Navy SEAL and sniper in the U.S. Navy. Well, not so much. There was another Fred Rogers who was also a Marine and sniper. So we will assume Mr. Rogers was just as wholesome as the character he portrays.
Which kind of brings us to the point of the podcast, is that if the most wholesome, kind of transparent character that portrays a neighbor we don't know anything about him, what do we know about our real neighbors? Because I feel like in the world we live in now, we've really kind of started to disregard our fellow man, even in our own communities. Like, I don't know the names of my neighbors. I wave to them if I see them getting the mail. But, well, you know your neighbors, they're your landlord, but... have you ever known both of your neighbors?
He doesn't even talk to me.
No, yeah, exactly.
My dad's neighbor was actually his best friend that he met. He built the house for him. And he was best friends all the way 30 years, I think, now.
Well, I'd reckon if you build a house for someone, then you might get to know them.
Yes. Other than
Well,
that,
they knew each other before that. 30 years?
Okay, then they were your neighbors then.
No, not before. The whole 30 years, since he built the house. He was,
30 years since.
Since, yeah.
Gotcha.
Interesting.
Gotcha.
That's how we should be. We should be building houses for our neighbors.
Well, like the Amish. That's how they were back then, when they had an actual community of people.
That's right.
Everybody helped everybody do everything.
They do love to raise a barn, those Mennonites.
They do. And they knew each other's freaking names.
And you know what they didn't have?
Cell phones.
Cell phones. Which, personally, and call me old-fashioned, I'm only 25, but I think that smartphones have been a kind of a detrimental
to society.
Yeah, definitely. I actually watched the reveal of the first iPhone in 2007. Steve Jobs did it, and it was weird to see everybody in the crowd, not one person holding up a cell phone recording it. They are.
We were such virgins at that point in time.
Right, we all have the flip phones, the slidey keyboards. I miss that.
I remember when texting first came out, and somebody texted me, and I was like, "What the shit? I don't want to do this back." And I would call them, and they wouldn't answer. And I'm like, I hate this texting crap. And now, I won't even answer my damn phone.
Did you warm up to texting, John?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, my dad at first, when he got his first smartphone, would refuse to text. He just absolutely refused to text my sister and I. Now he'll text me from across the house. Granted, he uses the voice-to-text thing, and he won't proofread it, so I have to decipher what some things mean. But no, he's warmed up to it, so I guess we all kind of adapt, but I don't know. I don't think we've adapted to be as social as we should with smartphones.
I just got to say that talk to text is a scourge of society. A scourge, I tell you.
If people proofread,
nobody proofreads. It's like ridiculous. How do you send that without proofreading it?
They're driving.
Do you know what I'm getting? The frog asked the sidewalk if they wanted a page out of the paper plate.
But you gotta kind of say it slowly out loud and kind of figure out what they might be saying. You're like, oh, the dog.
Ate my newspaper. Can you pick up a new one? Oh my God, no, it's terrible. It's terrible.
I think we might interact more now that we text than we used to. Because now we just write a simple text off and constantly throughout the day. When before you'd have to make a phone call, and you wouldn't call just to say, like, hello, I love you, and that's it.
That's true.
True.
Staying more constant contact with people, I think.
I think so too, because I will procrastinate for 2 weeks to make a phone call, but to make a text, I'll just do it immediately.
Well, you guys have thrown a wrench in my arguments. I kind of agree. Yeah, no, you're right, but it's kind of artificial human interaction,
It is.
The point I'm getting at the most when it comes to smartphones is a lot of my friends can't stay off of them when we are actually hanging out together. And it's a pet peeve of mine. And God, don't get me started on texting and driving. Actually, get me started on texting and driving.
Oh, I don't like it either. I will agree with you 100%, but go ahead.
I mean, nobody can do it if they say they can. And you look around while driving, everybody has their your face in their lap.
It's frightening.
I'm kind of surprised it hasn't caused more accidents. I mean, I know it caused a lot, but you'd think there'd be a pileup on every street with how much people aren't paying attention.
I agree. Yeah, I can't do it. I tried a couple times and I almost went off the road. So I just keep my phone on my lap, and if something needs to be said, I will do it at a traffic light. Otherwise, I just won't say anything until I get there if it's not even important enough. Because I think to myself, is it important enough to get into an accident over? No, it's not. Put the fucking phone down.
So I think that those light boards they have above the highways that say, don't text and drive, it can wait, or is your life important to text? It's corny, but it's true. Like,
but you're reading them and you're not looking at the road.
Okay, that's valid. It's a little better, I guess. But another thing is just people's kind of apathy towards each other. Because if you do see a car accident while driving, a horrific accident caused by texting or whatever, people think, oh shit, well, I'm going to be late for work.
And then I picture the younger folk, like teenagers or tweens, going out on a date. And I picture them sitting at the table at the restaurant, texting back and forth and not even looking at each other, and both looking down at their phones and texting back and forth. Or they're both on Snapchat, playing together on Snapchat or TikTok or whatever it is, but they're not interacting.
I don't want to hear it about Snapchat.
Oh, I'm a sucker for Snapchat. Oh man, don't get me started on that. It's so fun.
It is fun. But I mean...
But at least if I'm sitting at a table with an individual, I will actually look at them and speak to them.
At least
maybe.
You can do.
Well, John and I will sit in the living room and do Snapchat together and be on the same Snapchat text thread, and we won't look at each other.
Hours.
And I actually looked at him the other day and I said, are we actually doing this, John? And he's like, oh my God, I think so. So, hey, we've fallen into it too, and he's 40 and I'm 49.
Yeah, I was about to say, mind you, audience, I'm the Gen Zer here.
Yeah, I'm Gen X all the way. What about you, John?
Millennial.
You're a millennial, you little fucker?
Like 2 years, I think.
Oh,
he's the problem with our society. He's the real problem according to the news.
Just missed Gen X.
Gen X was the coolest.
Yeah.
I think
I don't like millennials one bit.
No, millennials suck. We were absolutely the coolest generation. We grew up in the 90s. We grew up in the 80s. And then we became adults in the 90s. And man, oh man, did we have a lot of fun. Holy crap.
I think we can all agree that the boomers are the worst, though. The baby boomer generation. I think they kind of invented selfishness and stuff. Like the gen before them, the greatest generation. You know, if
they all went to war and shit, right?
They all went to war and had a family, and they never thought about divorce. If you asked them, "Are you happy with your life?" They're like, "I don't fucking know. But I do what I gotta do." But the boomers kind of invented the divorce and
if you don't like it, get divorced. If you don't like it, take it back. If you know.
Yep.
And that's when they started making like manufacturing stuff to fall apart.
Oh,
like they didn't even make stuff good anymore to keep. So like the whole generation, like it all was like that.
Instant
People and exactly. Like if you don't like something, just take it back, or something's gonna break in a year, so then you'll just buy a new one anyway. Even cars aren't even made to last more than 10 years.
Yeah, that's true. That's very true. I had a point on that, but I forgot. Kind of slipped my mind. But yeah, you're right. There's still cars from the 60s and 70s on the road in great shape, but
like if you go to Cuba, all that's driving around is like cars from the 50s and 60s, because that's what they got, and they still work.
My Kia Rio that I never even hit 100,000 miles on had a couple problems with it. It's terrible. But I had a question. I had to pose a question to see where you guys stand on it, and be honest. If there was a button where 10 random people you've never met in the world died, but you got $100,000, would you push it? The look on Jen's face right now.
That's a terrible question.
Yeah, I don't think I could push it.
That's good.
Boy, I sure would think about it.
I would definitely. A lot of people
I hate to
die
say
every
it,
day.
but I would definitely think about it.
It's not even that much money, though.
No,
That's
it's
a ton of
not.
money. What are you
I'd do it for $1 million.
Okay.
Oh,
I think I'd kill 20 people for $1 million.
Bad karma.
Still
Bad karma.
murder.
Well, that's the dichotomy between you two. You're thinking about it and you're saying absolutely not.
No, definitely not.
Oh, John, you're just saying that.
That's the same thing. Like, oh, he's a stranger. I could punch him in the face. Who cares?
Well, you're not going to see the people die.
But
It's-
What if you had to watch him die on a video?
Yeah, no, I couldn't do that then.
That'd be terrible.
Yeah,
Oh my
absolutely
God.
not.
No, I couldn't do that.
Uh-huh.
It'd have to be like random anonymous people that were gonna die anyway. What if they were gonna die anyway, like in the next week?
10 people probably died in the time we've had this discussion.
Probably.
But yeah, I hate to say I probably would. I could really use $100,000. That would solve a lot of problems in my life. I would do good with it. I would do good things for society with it.
Money does not buy happiness, but it just makes everything a hell of a lot easier.
No, it definitely buys happiness. It solves your, not having to worry about finances is one thing.
Look at Chris Cornell, who killed himself. How rich was he?
He's probably pretty rich.
He hung himself.
He wasn't spending it right.
If I was him, if you hated society and everything and you were over all the bullshit that he was, wouldn't you just go buy an island or something and try that before you hang yourself?
You would think.
I do not understand these famous people that have everything and all this money and shit and they kill themselves.
I guess it depends on what you're depressed about.
He could have been just doing so many drugs that he thought life was bad, 'cause that's how melted his mind was.
Zonked.
I've been there.
Yeah.
Get really introspective. Too much introspection is a bad thing.
Usually when I'm doing drugs, I'm happy.
Yeah, me too. Go ahead.
I think if you're a millionaire, though, that kind of drugs, millions of dollars worth of drugs all the time.
Wouldn't you just OD'd on drugs? Why would you hang yourself? I just don't understand the hanging.
Yeah, because brain's melting.
Oh goodness, flip another point. You guys are making good points. But yeah, no, it probably depends on what you're depressed about. And I know Kurt Cobain, he apparently had some stomach disease that he was in pain all the time. And that was my point. But yeah, Kurt Cobain had a stomach disease that they didn't know what it was, and that was apparently one of the reasons he killed himself.
Unless Courtney killed him.
Well, yeah.
That's another podcast.
Yeah, Courtney Love very well may have, but we don't know. We weren't there.
You weren't even alive, were you?
When did he die?
Early 90s? 93, I think it was, yeah.
96 or 93.
94.
I was definitely not alive.
We should know that.
Yeah, it was definitely before 98, though.
Yeah, it definitely was. Well, because they came out with Nevermind in 91. So it was probably... And then I think he did something. I believe it was 93. You want to bet on that, John?
I was the one that said 93.
Okay.
The people listening are probably like, it was 91.
But I think it was 93. But I'm agreeing. Let's see. Let's find out. What year did Kurt Cobain die?
Kurt Cobain died on April 5th, 1994.
Oh,
94.
Yeah, because there was something, they did some gig or something somewhere in 93 that I remember reading about.
Unplugged, MTV Unplugged.
Unplugged, yeah.
One of the best performances of all time, in my opinion.
Do you guys realize, I know this is kind of off topic, but it's a really good point. The albums that came out in 91. Soundgarden's first album, the Chili Peppers, Blood Sugar Sex Magic, Metallica's Black Album, Pearl Jam's first album,
Holy crap.
Stone Temple Pilots' first album, I think Alice in Chains' first album,
Love Alice in Chains.
Mudvayne or something like that. That's the one that Eddie Vedder was in before, I believe. Oh, Temple of the Dog was another one. It's crazy. All in 91. That's the year I graduated from high school. That's the year I was 18. Do you know what that made my life into? Holy shit.
That's funny you mentioned that, though. I mean, this is also off topic, but when you said 94, I was thinking, that was a great year for movies. I was talking about this with John yesterday, how in 94, at one point, Shawshank Redemption, Forrest Gump, and Pulp Fiction were all in theaters at the same time.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
And I was alive. I don't even realize that. Because you know what? I was fucked up back then. I was doing all kinds of stuff.
But, kind of skipping back here, I think I've heard that a lot of rich people get super depressed because when you reach the top, you have nothing to strive for anymore.
There's nowhere to go but down.
Yeah.
Or you can get higher.
Like
Hence all the drugs.
Have 50 companies that you don't finish.
Oh, I was pissed when I heard Elon Musk was going to buy Twitter for cash.
Didn't he end up doing it?
Yeah.
Probably.
Yeah, he owns Twitter now.
Yeah, and then he was going to make it like a paid service, and everybody said they would have just left. And then he made a poll saying, should I give up control of Twitter? I will go by whatever the poll results are, and obviously they all said yes.
I got real pissed about that day. I did a bunch of stuff, and I was drinking vodka and Red Bull, and we jumped off the bridge and came back here and had a zucchini, and I was hammered, and I was gonna I don't know. I was saying crazy shit about the zucchini and saying bitches, nigga. And my friend Dwight was over, and he's a black guy, but it was just funny. It wasn't anything.
That sounds like a good night, actually.
It was fun as hell.
Can we go jump off the bridge after this?
Oh yeah,
It's not a very tall bridge, guys. Don't worry.
Yeah, it wasn't like a suicide bridge. It's just like a fun bridge,
Anything's a suicide bridge.
like a
Set your
street
mind
bridge.
to
Oh,
it.
but I was hammered when I jumped off, and as soon as I got in the water, it just made me completely sober.
There's also gators in there.
Yes, there's many gators in there.
Yeah,
I think the splash scares them away.
Yeah,
Yeah,
humans scare them away. They don't want anything to do with us.
But that water is not clear.
It's spooky. It's very brown and
It is clear. It's brown and clear. It's from the tannins of the cypress trees. It's like tea. It's like iced tea.
is that it? Really?
Yeah, that's what does it.
I remember being as a kid.
You don't know that, and you're from here?
I did not. I just figured it was dirt. but
Damn, and I'm a New Yorker. I know that. Shit, damn.
How do you find that out? That would have to be something
I read it.
someone tells you, or you seek it out.
We
I
can
don't
confirm
know.
it on Google.
No, I believe you. I definitely believe you. 'Cause there's a ton of cypress
The
trees. in there.
tannins from the cypress trees leak, or I don't know if you call it leach into the water. Lurch.
Yeah, I didn't. Well, that makes sense why all the swampy cypress areas are so brown.
Mhm.
Yeah, when I was a kid, when we'd be in the boat, I'd always think that the wake looked like root beer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's not a brown. It's not a cloudy brown. It's a clear brown.
Yeah, I
But
guess
you
you're
still
right.
can't really see. You know, you can see like maybe 2 feet into it.
The more you know, folks.
Oh, I'm full of useless knowledge.
But one place you do see good community relations is on the lake. Everybody's nice to each other.
Yeah,
on
for
the
real.
lake. Everybody
There's
waves.
called boat something.
Etiquette.
Boat etiquette. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, no, like that's a good point. There are some places where people genuinely all get along. I'm trying to think of others, but I'm drawing a blank. But
Boating is definitely one. Like, I mean, you can almost hate each other when you pass somebody on the boat, and you have to. It's just a prerequisite when you pass somebody on the boat. You gotta wave.
yeah.
I think everyone's drunk that's on the boat.
And everyone's drunk. And like when we had our boat, there was somebody that was stranded out in the middle of the lake, and we got the tow rope and pulled it back in. We got stuck one time out there. Somebody else pulled us back in. It's like anybody will help anybody.
Right on, yeah.
Yeah, it's really cool. You know, if you run out of beer, somebody will help you and give you more beer.
I haven't run into people that nice.
It's a great camaraderie with boating. It really is. It makes you think that people. It sort of makes you think that there's hope in society or people.
And to play devil's advocate, I just thought about it. It's probably 'cause everybody's out there like drunk and having just a good time. Like you're never gonna see that kind of camaraderie on driving on the road or anything.
Oh no, people on the road hate each other. I want to ram into the back of every car that's in front of me.
Yeah, that's the Florida thing. Everybody, I don't know. I heard Jersey driving's pretty bad.
No.
Oh, shit.
Since I've been here, I've seen more accidents on the road than I've seen in my entire life. It's been just
Oh, yeah?
3 years, yeah. More people died than I've seen.
What else has a camaraderie though, like boating? Shooting guns,
Any
people with
hobby,
guns and
any
stuff.
hobby or leisure activity, people are genuinely kind of chill to each other. Because why would you bring shit attitude to that?
What about people that like do drugs together?
Yeah, we all have a great time.
I would think festivals.
Festival, that's a good one.
Festivus for the rest of us.
Yeah, that's a good one.
I've never been to one of those medieval festivals, but
Oh, I
The
have.
Renaissance, the
they
Ren
seem
fairs.
super
Yeah.
friendly.
Yep. If you don't get shot with an arrow. I went there.
Or if you're out of character.
I was the chaperone for my son's 5th grade trip to the Renaissance Festival. I was about to strangle those little bastards by the end of that. I tell you what.
So I guess everybody's not cordial to each other.
No. Not when I'm the chaperone.
Yeah,
my
shooting-
son was like, "Mom, are you sure you want to do this?" I'm like, "Well, I've never done it. I need to do it at least once." Well, that was the one and only. I wasn't that mom.
I think my mom chaperoned one of my trips to like a farm, and my dad coached my basketball team. I don't know. That was completely off topic. That was just a.
Hey, we've been off topic all the ball podcasts.
Yeah, shooting is one though that people are very nice to each other.
It's good that they are because they're all holding guns.
Yeah, exactly. But no, I've had people give me ammo. Like one time I was at a range, and this guy next to me had a handgun that I always wanted to shoot since they first came out, and I asked him, I had my own ammo and everything, and he just gave me a full magazine and said, "Go for it."
Nice.
Yeah.
I remember we used to go shooting with my cousins and on my aunt's property. They had 5 acres, and we'd shoot the what are the things that you float, the things that you throw up there?
Oh, the clay pigeons or the
Yeah,
feet.
yeah. I don't know what kind of gun I was shooting with. I have no idea, honestly. And I grew up around guns when I was When I was 14, I took my gun safety class so I could get my small game license. Yep, I could hunt squirrels and chipmunks and woodchucks and shit like that.
A whole small forest fauna.
Yeah, small forest fauna. But I never, I never shot anything because I would just get high. I'd just like to go in the woods and get high and sit there and like watch things go by. I didn't really want to shoot anything.
I feel the same way about hunting. I used to do pest control hunting to make money, and I didn't enjoy it. I just like being out there in nature.
I've never shot a gun.
Are you serious?
Never.
Jersey things.
Wow.
It's another New Jersey.
We gotta get a gun, John.
Yeah.
Gotta get John a gun.
Damn. I can't believe never, not even as a kid.
No, not even a kid.
Wow.
Never.
See, my dad was a hunter though.
Yeah,
First time I shot a gun, I was 5.
My dad was not a hunter. I learned shooting from my grandfather, and I actually taught my dad to shoot, which I don't think is the way it's supposed to go. I don't think the son is supposed to teach the dad how to shoot.
That's a little backwards, but hey, at least you learned and you taught him.
Yeah.
I had to teach my dad how to climb out the back of the window when he crashed the car and we landed on the roof.
Oh man, I hope I don't have to teach my dad that.
Yeah, it was not good. Not too good. My dad was kind of wasted.
Oh shit.
We were coming back from the bar.
Huh.
I was 5.
Oh.
Yeah,
well,
it was wintertime.
That's the plot twist of that story. Good heavens.
He used to take me to the... But back then, you could do all this shit. It was crazy. It was a crazy world back then.
You could have booze cruise back then.
Awesome, yeah. My dad, anytime I had off and he had off... well, I didn't even think I was in school yet then. Maybe I was on Christmas vacation or something because there was a shit ton of snow. But he always took me to Chuck's Lounge. And I'd sit there all day while he drank. And I would play pool sometimes if nobody was messing with the pool tables. I would eat onion potato chips and drink Pepsi. And sit there at the bar... Talk to the people around the bar. I think that's why I'm so personable now. And, I was a bartender and I can always, I've never met a stranger. I can talk to anybody. I mean, I had to do that at 5.
So we solved it. To raise your kids to be pillars of society, bring them to the bar. And so we're all nice to each other. We should all have a gun in our hands.
Yeah. Or and a boat. Have a boat. Too.
Or have a gun on a boat. I think you'd be really nice to each other
Boats,
then.
guns, and boobs.
So does anybody know your neighbors' names?
I can actually have a point on that. I don't know either of my neighbors' names. Like I said, I'll wave to them if I see them. But we just had new neighbors move into the house on my left, and
We did too.
And I'll even try to wave to them. They won't even look at me.
Nah, I'm not gonna go over there with a pie or anything.
No,
I haven't even waved. I don't even wave to them. I'm done. I'm sick of it all.
I'll give them a little, but no, I don't know.
You never get anything back, and then you just feel like such a moron. Nothing. Crickets.
They seem kind of snobby. They have a Land Rover and a BMW and a little
for
dog.
God's sake. Oh, jeez.
Yeah.
Yeah, forget that. Take them some cookies.
No.
You should get on the good side.
I guess.
Fill the neat shit down around their house and pay like $50 a pop.
Oh.
Make yourself like useful.
That's going above and beyond. I guess I'm the bad neighbor, really.
See, I think I'm the bad neighbor at this point because I just don't want to talk to anybody anymore.
I think a good neighbor is the ones that don't. The silent neighbor. I think that's a great neighbor.
That's how I try to be. But I did meet the people across the street once. I can't remember their names. We got brand new neighbors on the left. On the right is a guy that gets cops come there sometimes, and he plays music really loud in the middle of the night, and he's got a loud truck. So he's louder than I am, so I stay away from him. But I'll wave to him once in a while, yeah. Yeah, and the people that are crisscross that way, Dee always says that he thinks that they're watching him if he's in the garage. Watching him and looking down on him. I don't know why.
There's a lot of weird stuff that goes on out there at night. There's a lot of late night people on the street.
It's so dark out there. You can't see people.
My neighborhood doesn't even have a street light. It's so dark.
Yeah, I haven't seen them yet. I just heard them. Weird radios playing, weird music a lot of times.
Are they lit up? Some?
No, not even. Like, it looks like they're inside the house. The lights are off, it seems.
When I drive down Lakeshore, I see people on the side of the road all the time, and I think I'm going to hit them, and they're not even there.
Yeah, that's weird. They have to walk across the road to get to their docks. Yeah. But
No, they're walking alongside the road.
They're always standing on the side of the road.
Right. You see them too?
Yeah, they'll be standing like right on the shoulder.
And they're not really there.
Okay, yeah. Well, I think those are like mailboxes and stuff.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe.
I have seen silhouettes.
When you got to go to Fazoli's. You make John a video.
Well, we are past Monday at this point.
Holy crap.
Yeah, I promise we're in a time zone where it's still Monday.
Yeah, we were a little late to
Yeah, technical.
Late to the clutch tonight, weren't we?
But I think we've covered everything we kind of wanted to talk about.
I think so.
Yes.
Anybody have any last words?
No, I had one more point, but it's a loss. It would sound too cynical now, because we started
No.
getting positive.
Oh, go ahead. We need some cynicism at the end.
All right. And this, I think, it's not a very very controversial opinion, is that our country is pretty much exactly 50-50 divided. Like the last couple elections, and when that's the case, it's just one half of the country telling the other half how to live. And I think that might be what caused a lot of...
You mean one half of the country telling the other half of the country to fuck off?
Yeah, exactly. And they ate them.
Yeah. I thought you said they ate them.
Oh, I think they probably would if it came down to it.
Cannibalism. Oh, that's another
Yeah,
topic.
next week.
Yeah, next week we'll discuss
The rules
cannibalism.
of cannibalism.
If there was Armageddon, would you eat your pets?
Oh, first thing. I wouldn't even be hungry.
I'd die with them in the bed.
Well.
What about you,
I
John?
would definitely eat them.
Because
Wow.
they're going to eat you.
I'm gonna keep my pets away from you two.
Make jerky out of them.
Oh my
all sorts
god,
of stuff.
Jersey jerky.
Oh, don't be crazy. I wouldn't eat your pets.
Oh, thank God, thank God. All right, folks. Well, y'all have a wonderful evening, and we'll see you next Monday.
Right on. We're making...